Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh God, I was just saying really interesting things as well. God, maybe that's why no one is here. It's like, can you? Yeah, it's like when I am. I mean, oh well, I'm glad you're here. Do you want to go scary? Do you want to go scary, or do you want to go more like that? Do you want scary? She can get quite scary is good. Okay. Okay. Well then we will need horse skulls. And is it just for bust you need? Oh, look at that! It's beautiful. Look what some light-fingered individuals have done. Okay. God, horse skulls are a menace. That's interesting. Wow. Are you doing an ibex? I love ibexes. They've got big foreheads. I got into an argument with one of my students saying, yeah, we had an argument because they got quite protruding skulls because they like to butt heads, don't they? And it said, yeah, and they started arguing with me, saying, actually, you don't know that. And I was like, yeah, they've got really protruding foreheads. You do need some horses. Need some horses. I do not draw horses on a regular basis. There we go. Probably don't need a huge number. Okay. No, what are you doing, Pure F? Stop it. Stop it. You are such an intuitive program, and now I don't know what's going on. You gonna drop in later tonight, Pat? To our Discord convo with Mr. Darcy. I don't think he likes being called that. I just think that's how it's spelled, right? Actually, I was sketching seahorses for my sketchbook a while ago. Got very cool shaped faces. Oh, so look at that. Isn't that cool? Sometimes you just wonder how something like that evolved. Okay. And I kind of don't just want a wet horse as well. It's quite a tricky brief, man. It's the sort of thing I'm not sure how much you can sort of do, because of course, like seaweed, when it's just laying flat, it just becomes, well, just this seaweed laying flat. It's not the most I don't know. Well, we can start with that. See where we end up. Okay. Off to a network night. Wow. Well, we'll be around about 10 p.m. We'll be around until like 12, 1, 2. I think it's even gone on till 3 in the evening, in the morning rather. Okay, let's start drawing some horses. So demonic horses as well. So I'm guessing Mr. Pat here will want a 3/4 view. So like I said, I'm not very familiar with the sort of layout of a horse, but I do have a book on it. And I think what's key is you have this diamond shape on the top, which I'm mapping out there, and then they've got a very big masseter, which is this big muscle that you see here. Right, because we just stand around there chewing all day, so we don't want the cheeks getting tired. We also have this muscle, incidentally. I feel like there was a fad for that, you know, selling these like these like devices to exercise your jaw, so you get really big jaw muscles, and makes you more attractive apparently, but I don't know, it's kind of stupid. I feel like you'd have to exercise your jaw a lot to get any muscle mass there. But yeah, so you end up with this diamond, and you got that sort of big masseter there, and then the eyes fit in underneath, and they've got these very expressive eyes, which I reckon is why people are such big fans of their horses. Got these big expressive eyes there, and then sort of curves down, and we've got you've got the nostrils there, which I think we're probably going to take out at some stage. Poor thing. Okay, and then they also have this like sort of, it's quite an awkward thing to draw, Sort of thing you can end up giving, you know, inadvertently giving it a really stupid expression. But yeah, then we've got this sort of thing at the bottom there. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of the base there. Just trying to make sure that, okay, so just looking at my reference here, I mean, I can, what might be useful is me drop in what I'm looking at here, so you can see what I'm looking for. Of course, this being concept, in all honesty, like if you're doing this for real and you didn't have much experience drawing horses, you probably would just trace it, but you kind of don't learn anything that way. But again, that's not the priority. That's really not the priority of well, that's not the priority of working, right? Of course, if you're going to do anything like more advanced with a design, then of course it is helpful to what's it helpful to do? Yeah, you kind of need to be able to construct it, so then you're looking more at 3D and kind of really understanding what it is that you're drawing. But you see what I mean about it suddenly ended up with a really sort of dopey expression. It can just be like a tiny, like little angle in the mouth there. You can end up looking sort of really daft if you're not careful. Okay, so you see this cheek thing comes in there. I think the eye's a little bit smaller than I've got it. So that's an important detail, because of course having the eye small makes the rest of the head look big. And then we've got that curving up. Okay, so how narrow it is at the top of the head. Then we've got mane coming out there. Just stylize it a bit. You've got the head coming in there. So do you just need the bust for now, Pat? And then it's like a 1 in 26 chance of you picking it at the end. Okay, yeah. So we'll go down to something like that. So you can get some seaweed on top, and you can get the sort of horsiness of it there. Of course, after decades, still not good at staying on the page. So I was taught a little trick with ears, is that you draw a cylinder. You can kind of see why people say that, because if you look, it is, right? So you draw a cylinder, and then you sort of join up the edges around that cylinder, and then you see it gives you kind of the shape that you need, right? And then that's filled with hair, right? Lovely. Probably works quite well for modelling it as well, because of course if you can start from a simple volume like that, yeah, you can do anything. Okay, so we've got a handsome little horse here. We do need the brow on the other side to stick out like so. Okay. I think, you know what, I might do more of like a sort of little painting here. Yeah, it's just no offense, I'm not sure what. I think the sort of interesting design part of this is kind of how dead you make the horse. You know, so we'll see about that. As I said, I just want to make sure I have kind of something here, and then we're going to work on top with all the fantastical elements. I'm just going to use this reference on the side here to just take this a little bit further. Okay. I think what I'm maybe missing is there's a slight curvature to the top of the nose there. We're going to go up here. Okay. It looks kind of horsey, right? That's weird, isn't it? Look, the hair goes that way. Comes, sweeps up and over the top. There we go. It's got quite a stylish little quiff there. Okay, so we need another layer on top, which is going to be a sort of dead layer. So this bend here, I imagine, is that. So something people underestimate how big the nasal aperture on something like this actually is. So we've got a big empty, we've got like a big empty nose cavity there. So this would just be one idea. So it's one of those things I've got to be careful about, you know, just making it look a little bit stupid without intending. Because I don't want it to look stupid. But yeah, I'm going to have sort of teeth there. Let's bring out that cheekbone there. I want to take out that nostril. Problem with the teeth sticking out the end there, it can look a little bit goofy. So I feel like I don't want that nasal cavity like completely open. Just see what other people have done with regards to that. It's also sometimes hard to know what creative liberties you can take. We can give it the scary teeth. So if anyone doesn't know about kelpies, they are renowned for devouring their prey, which is normally unsuspecting humans. You ever seen one for real, Pat? In the wilds of Scotland? I want to find some way to bring out that eye. You had much experience like modelling gore, Pat? I know, maybe it was just a horse, right? So I'm going to go very like zombie horse here. And then for the next one, let's oh yeah, you're on Cure for Wellness, weren't you? Yeah. Oh, well done. Oh, didn't you? Okay. So here's your nice friendly neighborhood Kelpie. Don't worry, we might try something different. Because at the moment it's basically just zombie horse. It's basically just zombie horse, which I don't think is quite the thing. I wonder who it was I was talking about Cure for Wellness to then. As you can see, horses don't actually have teeth here, but I'm taking creative liberties now. See, I feel like it's just zombie horse. I feel like it's just zombie horse with seaweed in its hair. Also, I guess we're meant to have like a friendly form, right? Because that's how they lure people to their deaths, you know. Like, you're not luring anyone if you look like shit. Right? Oh, okay. Okay. So if that was the case, I'd be, well, I wonder who came up with that myth. It's probably a jilted gentleman. Did you know that? It's only the female midgets that bite. You just reminded me. I was doing a scrambling weekend in Snowdonia with and one of the clients on there. He was like recently divorced, and the guide pointed out that yeah, like it's only the female midgets that suck blood, and and this guy got very animated all of a sudden, so that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Not sure stories about divorce hit very hard with our audience. I imagine our audience skews rather young, so you didn't know that? Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Popular with lady midges. Yeah. Let's give it a bit more of a back there. I mean, there might be a lot of stuff if it's kind of fun for you to model, right? Like stuff hanging off. I mean, if you don't like it, you can always elect to remove it, I suppose. But yeah. We've got a zombie horse here. Okay, so let's get a bit of value on here. I'll say to everyone, don't render on a black background. Sorry, on a white background, or a black background for that matter. And you just need to. Oh, see, look how handsome he was before we before we trashed him. I'll tell you what, I might want to keep a hold of that. Just we want to make sure we're working non-destructively. Destructively. That would be a piece of. Look, that's one hell of a glow up, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to merge all that down. And then Control-Shift-J will get that on a new layer. And I'm just going to turn it to multiply to get rid of all that white. And then, because we've gone dark in the background, I feel like maybe I should go white there. Right. So. Let's try and build up some value here. I'm going to try and bring up a few more of the forms that I'm seeing in the sort of normal horse. And I feel like you'll be able to style it how you want, right, Pat? Like if something's not quite to your liking, you can always model it different. So man, it kind of feels like it's got this silly grin on it. So, and I think it's because that's going that way. I'm not sure. Like it's so subtle with sometimes with things like this. Like to me, that kind of looks worse. Okay. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, we shall keep it then. Let's keep that grin. Okay. I quite like that mark in there. I feel like we should do something with it. Oh wow. Sorry, the music just got a little bit heavy, didn't it? Bass! And they do have the most wonderful eyes. But I feel like that needs to be like rotten and sunken out. Oh. I feel like I've gone off clubbing a bit. I really got back into it for like a year or so. And then I feel like I'm over it again now. So now I'm like, oh, it's too late for me. Getting tired. Buttery biscuit base. Exactly. We have a buttery biscuit base. You know what? I'm going to be controversial here. I don't think a cheesecake should have buttery biscuit base. No, that's not right. I feel like cheesecake has got buttery biscuit base. It's just not a very thick one. It's there to support. It's not there to be the main event. Actually, that is getting quite heavy, isn't it? Hands in the air. Hey, man. T7B8 edits. I'm trying to think who you could be. Do we know each other? This is always a problem with people's Twitch names and Discord names. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like having to learn 2 names for everyone. How you doing tonight, mate? Good? Get that highlight in there. So I think with the seaweed, we want to go dark and kind of use the highlight to reveal the form. Also, I feel like my shaping down here is a little bit not good. Let's see what we can do about that. It's kind of just drapey drapey, gross, flowy stuff. I kind of want some, you know, because obviously got a big hole in his face. I kind of want to have some of that flesh rotting away, but do I know mad charcoal? I can't say I do. Can't say I do. Is that another streamer? Cool name. Wish I'd thought of that. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah. No, I had not heard of that, but or heard of him. That's cool. Josh Hernandez. Nice. Yeah, cool stuff. Reminds me of oh god, I never know how to pronounce his name, but Casey Buff. I think it's, is it Buff? Bah? Casey Buff, I don't know. Reminds me of him. And Casey was trained by Richard Schmidt. So yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I've seen him. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I mean, we could do that. We could make order out of chaos. I feel like that's quite a fun thing to do when you're painting. Hands in the air, guys. No, it's very beautiful work for sure. What do you do, my friend? Are you an artist as well? Are you 2D? Or are you 3D? Oh, go on, give us a kiss. There we go, okay. So I'm just trying to fix some things that don't look quite right. Let's zoom in a bit. I feel like I'm not thinking about the optimum streaming experience, am I? Like, it's too small. I would imagine so, yeah. He's got that very sort of photographic look to his work. It's quite hard to achieve unless you do in fact use a photo. Okay, that'll do. Okay. Let's save this out. Oh my god, I've got so many folders of stuff. There we go. There we go. Let's save it there. Okay. Oh, I miss having my reference there. Go on. Get over here, you. Over that side, Mr. Horsey Face. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit more detail now. God, the music just suddenly became a lot more chill, didn't it? Suddenly became very chill. I like it. Well, it's turned into Zombie Horse Hour. Not really what I intended, but let's go with it. Let's go with it, guys. I don't know how big a fan you guys are of zombie horses, but at least 50 of you seem to like zombie horses, so like, was it Anne Hathaway when she went and got her Oscar? She's like, you like me, you really like me. It was really cringe. It was really quite cringe. See, I feel like Pat would be able to make something out of this already, but you know, let's just keep going with it because it's fun. I think it'll give us some quite interesting stuff to model, to be honest, like for the sort of gore and stuff. Like it's not easy. Oh, okay, you're still here. Brilliant. God, I love this vibe. It's so much. It's so, you know, this music's so much more like optimistic. It's like before. Look at this. That's positively joyous right now. Ah, okay, yeah. Is it an online thing where you go and you traveling for it? For loads of networking events in London I can't be asked to do, frankly. Oh, that's good. That's good. It's a great tip, kids. Meet people in person. Watch out for sheep, man. Oh, but it's going to be lambing season soon. It does feel very spring-like, I've got to say. It's kind of grey today, but it was quite warm again. Like obviously like Ghost Runner. It's like Ghost Runner music. That is a game. It's too hard for me. Couldn't get anywhere with it. That's kind of cool how those teeth overlap, isn't it? And the bottom ones go under. Okay, and then that's gonna go. Okay. Does feel like it's got a very narrow neck. Don't know why. I think, oh yeah. See that line on the back of its head is completely off. And I think that's probably better like so. Let's frame this properly. Oh look, it's a dial-up sound. Hands up if anyone remembers that. It's a great noise, I think. It's a great noise. I actually liked how in that one reference, you know, the seaweed and stuff on top just looked like really long hair. I thought that looked quite elegant. Starts to feeling quite so much like sort of Zombo horse. They always like stylized the ears as well, I've noticed. Always give them quite sort of pointy ears, which I reckon helps with the mythicalness of it. So let's go with that. Actually, no, why the hell didn't I just do that? Right? There we go. No worries, mate. No worries. Right. Let's make him look mythical. Let's give him some. Let's give him some mythical looking ears. In the hope that makes it look more like kelpie like. I mean, his ear might be that big. It's not, you know, it's gone off the top of the page there. Looks kind of devilish, right? I think that's probably a good thing. I mean, not a good thing if you're bumping into this fella backpacking around Scotland, but yeah. For those of you who missed it, this is meant to be a kelpie, which is a Scottish folkloric creature that shapeshifts from a beautiful maiden into a demonic horse that lures you to the water's edge, then drowns you. So I guess in the olden days, yeah, people couldn't swim as well. So, yeah, I guess there was much more in the way of drowning myths. Very grim. It's hard times back then. Hard times, right? Okay, cool. Right, I am going to take a break. You should too. Get up, practice your backflips. See you all in 2 seconds. I'll be right back and we'll finish this guy off. I don't think it'll take too long. If we've got a bit of time later, because I have just had an engagement cancel, so we can draw something. As I said, if any of you got here when I started, I've got a piece of artwork I need to finish in the next 2 days. So if you'd like to join me for that, that will be in an hour. Let's go on a bit longer. I've always wondered what happens when we do that, you know. Do we gradually slide into an alternative dimension where I suddenly meet all my deadlines? Who knows? Anyway, see you in 2 secs, guys. Okie doke. Right. So, after a quick commercial break, we are back. So, it definitely gets into a sort of mature stage where we're just painting, refining. I mean, at this stage, I feel like he knows what the vibe. He's going to know what the vibe is already. You know, it's like, yes, I know what I'm making. So, I don't think I'll take this too much further. I'll take it this that much further than the hour. So at this stage I am just letting the reference there handhold me. There's quite a lot of actually lighting information in there, so it's actually not super difficult sort of thing where you can just tune out and carry on, right? It's kind of weird because I've got to I kind of want the eye to be sort of sunken and a little bit rotten, but there's lots of really nice kind of rendering to be had around it. Seems a bit of a shame not to include some of that. Okay, so this plane underneath the eye is slightly darker than I've got it. So I'm sort of trying to back up. Well, actually, I've got the preview up top in OBS, which is quite handy, so I can kind of see how the overall values are reading. I think I kind of want this back part here to just be knocked back a little bit. And then so see, pushing those values down ever so slightly. So the way contrast has sort of drifted slightly high up here, it's kind of useful. It makes it look a little bit wet. It's kind of what we want. No, should we give him a grin? I don't mind that actually. I think that kind of helps. Oh god, I think I've got some dodgy drawing here. Yeah. God, his nose is out of perspective. Tisk tisk. Why would my students listen to me after such a blunder? Okay. Sorry, there's this little plane back here that's just catching the light. I feel like this cheek area would be quite a good place to have some like zombie flesh going on. You'd be surprised how sensitive the what's the value structure is to being broken up in that way. Yeah. So let's deepen the shadows here. It's actually a really good place to deepen the shadows on a person as well if you're doing a portrait. And this is going to be covered by the darkness. There we go. Let's a nice fat bit of seaweed. It's going to break that silhouette at the end there. Maybe a strand coming down there. No, don't like that. Maybe down here. I've got a really bright tooth here. Not quite sure what's going on there. Looks like there's a little weird secondary light source down this bottom section. I guess you're kind of getting that feeling here. Can't actually work out if this is like seaweed dripping from the other side. I don't think horses have beards, do they? It does feel like a kind of logical place to put a beard. But good old Kyle. Let's see if he can help us with this texture here. Something a little bit more gritty for the stuff we're indicating back here. You know, texture brushes won't make your drawing, but if you've laid in an interesting enough, you know, if you've laid in a good enough, I know, yeah. I thought you'd be off already. Yeah, so thingy, Darcy can't make it tonight. I think I dropped your Discord message, didn't I? So don't rush back from your meet. You know, drive safely. Do not rush on our account. Well, if you're around tomorrow, if you can make tomorrow, we can do tomorrow. Yeah, nice. Be the same sort of time. Okay, back section. Cool, I'm glad. It'll be a fun little powwow. God, this is the old school dance channel. Yeah, man, it'll be fun. It will be fun. I think we're sort of coming to a close with this, man. So hopefully it's at the stage where you can make something of it. Insane. Yeah, it's an insane horse. It's going to drag you to your death. Yeah, don't get too close to any locks, man. Loch. I mean, I reckon I could work on this for another half hour. I reckon I could work on it for another half hour. It's recording. It might be nice to see a time lapse of it. Oh, of course you can. Of course you can. Bye, Pat. Everyone follow Pat if you've not followed him already. Anytime. I mean, honestly, it's quite fun plugging other people. No worries, I'll speak to you tomorrow as well. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Bye. I don't know, it's easier to plug other people's stuff than it is yourself. Doesn't feel cringe, you know, you're just like shouting at other people. It's great. If I like, follow my channel now, it's like, oh, cringe. But look at someone else's channel. Yeah, it's fine. You're doing a good deed. Just doing a good deed. Oh god, I kind of don't know what's going on. I don't know what shape horses' faces are. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of just have to work it out from these very subtle plane shifts, but even that's kind of. Okay, so I'm using a textured brush here to try and get a little bit more sort of bite and direction into the brushwork. But sometimes it's not. It's actually not the best tool for certain things. You know, it definitely adds something, but I think for modelling, for the bits of this that I haven't modelled out quite so well yet, you know, I'm just going to have to work into those a little bit more. Right, so I'm going to go back again to the trusty brush. Trusty brush. It's the brush I use all the time. Okay. So you can see here, like that value that's really popping out, which we don't necessarily want. like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing if he looks a little bit, you know, a little bit wet. If there's a little bit of a sheen to him, but too much, and I'm actually doing what I always tell my students off for, which is push your value range too much. It tends to break pictures if you do that. And we don't want that. We don't want your pictures broken. We want your pictures holding together nicely. Okay. Well, it does seem lots of you do like demon horses, so brilliant. I had no idea if there was a niche for such things. I had no idea demon horses were so... Oh, I should message. I should message someone. Let me message her. There we go. I mean, I said I'd be done in 2 hours, but there's always something else to render. You know, such as rendering. Kind of like how some of these rotten bits are coming out. That's yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. That's a bit naughty because it's not that dark in the reference, so I need to make sure I'm matching that. Sometimes leaving that dark edge on the edge there is actually not a bad idea. Okay, and as I'm not being too fussy here, I can just sample the background color. Just trying to watch this because you can see I've kind of simplified the shape there, and we do want this like little bulge that we're getting underneath. I think I've lost that form. Just going to bring that back in. It's just, you know, it's always the case as you continue to refine. You always well, I don't want to generalize. You are probably fine. But I find that you tend to, you know, as you tidy your shapes up, which is something natural that you always have to do, your shapes lose something. At least mine do. Unless you are like super amazing and just so well trained that that doesn't happen to you. I wish I was at that level. Maybe after like a year of streaming and just rendering out demon horses, I'd be an expert. And I'd be an expert, and you know, it'd be like Firestorm, but that's actually the Demon Horse channel. Yeah, you know what? I'm such a... What's the word? Such a rascal. I reckon I could work on this for like 3 hours now. Yeah. I mean, guys, if you get bored with it, you can say so, and I'll move on to something else. Like Pat said, I reckon he could make something nice out of that. I mean, he was being very modest there. Look, hopefully I can do it justice. Of course you can. Of course you can. He modelled VM Skybird in Fantastic Beasts. Worked on Harry Potter's. So I'm sure he will do justice to this not so handsome fella. Oh, I like that. Except I think it's too wide. Like, I think that's sort of over here somewhere, but I don't care. Creative license. So I do feel like this is quite good practice for me. I mean, I don't tend to like work up paintings like this very often. I tend to, you know, start with a 3D base, you know, get back to do most of my rendering because I like sculpting as well. But I do like this sort of painting. I do like that process where you just sort of pull it out of the, you just pull the picture out of your scribbles. Like I think how someone mentioned earlier, it's quite a satisfying process. So thank you for joining me on this fine evening to work out what I reckon. Like making the teeth a bit more human down there is probably a good shout as well. Let's zoom in a bit far. As I said, I've got my preview up top in OBS, so that'll be good. Still feel like I've lost this profile underneath. I've lost that shape. And Pat being Pat, that is surely something he would pick up on. So we must do right by Pat. It's this kind of almost square muzzle that comes down there. Maybe this big hair here was a bad call because it's obscuring the shape of the. So I'm just going to conveniently pull that up there. Makes it a bit easier to read if I'm honest. Yeah. Bit of a funny one. The teeth kind of look like they're on the surface there because they're a continuation of this value here. So to knock them back, probably just a case of darkening on top. You know, that will force them back in a bit. You know, just darkening on the top looks like occlusion, and then I think that's a little bit better. Still a very weird section of the. Still a very weird section there. It's getting very dark. I don't quite know what's going on there, but I'll go with it. You know, sometimes where some of the accidents show through, I just want to take care that I'm leaving them because I kind of like the way these sorts of tendrils here I guess you could call them, the way they fade off. And that wasn't intentional. That was just me like lifting the brush off. But you know, if you've got that nice little accident that looks like it's fading into the darkness there, we kind of don't want to mess with it. We want to create that illusion that I sort of just went shh, 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 right, and it came out nice. Of course, as you know, like I've been working on this for well over an hour now, right? But it's all about making it look like it was done quickly, not about actually doing it quickly. With that said, though, I mean, if you practice enough, you will get very good at being very swishy, and you know, making your work look really effortless. I think, especially nowadays, it's something that people really respond to. You know, these sort of like brush strokes would look like they were just done in an instant. It's yeah, it's. I think it has social currency, right? People do like to see that in their work, in your work. Make it look effortless. I feel like if any of you have seen Cirque du Soleil, though, I feel like they make it look too effortless, and that makes it look less impressive. I think one of their most impressive acts is the Wheel of Death, where, if you don't know, it's this big rotating like thing that goes. It's really tall as well. It goes up in the air and rotates round and round and round. And the reason why that particular Cirque du Soleil act is so exciting is because the performers train themselves to like look like they're about to fall over, so they like start skipping on it. It's batshit. It's absolutely batshit if you see it. But yeah, they like start skipping, and then they stumble, and they make it. I think it's obviously like rehearsed, because if it wasn't, you would die, right? So that's really fun. That's really fun. But yeah, it's like, if you make it look too effortless, that's also not good. You know, you need that sort of like imperfection there as well. You know, don't be too good. You know, if you're too good, you're not relatable. Not that I've ever got to that level, I've got to say. I want to kind of make these teeth shine again. I've got Anatomy 101 with Peter. You've got feet in your mouth. You've got several feet in your mouth. There you go. Bet you didn't know that. Learn something new every day. Let's see, I feel like we've got any excuse to add a specular highlight, right? Especially if you just, you know, have it sticking out of the darkness like that. It just looks like something's there. Just looks like there's some sort of like torn flesh or something there. It just looks like really raw and really gross, which is what we want. Apologies if any of you are eating. But I am first and foremost known for being a horror artist, right? You knew what you were getting yourself into. If anyone objects, you can type. You can say in the chat, "I'm offended and grossed out by your artwork. Please draw puppies or kittens," and well, I will oblige. Right? I think we're nearly done with this. Of course, it'll be a demon puppy or a demon kitten, but something like that. Be quite nice to get a time lapse of this. I might actually send the recording off to I think it's Mario. Mario. God, he must get that so much. Just get that every time he meets someone. It's like, yeah, I've never heard that one before. Wow. There's this nice rim light here. I was toying with the idea of putting a rim light on. Yeah. Me likey. You know what I do? I think I do like that. You know, I should be professional and put it on a separate layer. No, I miss that now. I miss that. I feel like it's lacking something now. I wonder what this is though. It feels really bright to just be like a little bit of reflected light. Okay. Okay. I'm like floundering here. I've lost momentum. so I'm going to do something important but kind of fun, so I can maintain my energy. Need a nice textured brush. So all I want to do is sort that out. Look, oh my god, look at the bravura and the, you know, there you go, like swishiness. Swish, 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 swish. Actually, I need, well, this is the thing, right? Like, when you're concepting, someone needs to know what the hell your intention was. And I feel like that it's not immediately clear that that's seaweed anymore. So, before I get carried away with this, I should probably make sure that this looks like seaweed. Also, if I zoom out, I am sort of looking at the back shape there. So silhouette, super important, and I do feel it's getting slightly weak there. So I'm just going to try and bring that back. And again, like if there's some nice kind of like brushwork stuff that happens there, so be it. And now I look at that, I think the ears are a bit crap as well. See, I will never be free of this picture. Okay, so that highlight would extend up there. Oh god, it's all going horribly wrong. There we go. So if we darken underneath there, that starts to look like a sort of highlight that's been caught on the top there. I'm still not happy with it. I want some professional artist to come here and give me a crit so I can fix it. Someone help me! Help me! It's all going horribly wrong. There you go. Oh, that's interesting. I can't tell if that was a good idea to flick that back part up there like that. Imagine I'm probably ruminating over an important detail there. Right. Let's keep going. Let's take a look at them ears. No, I've changed my mind. Let's look at the seaweed. Music's quite catchy. So hopefully by filling in some of those darks there and some of those occlusion shadows, it's going to look like, you know, he's going to see the form there. It's going to be a bit more like, it's going to look a bit more like seaweed. I'm going on about seaweed a lot tonight, aren't I? Okay. There we go. Although I feel like I can leave that open to interpretation, right? Like, you need to leave some space for whoever works on your piece afterwards to, you know, to interpret, right? You need to leave some space for them to work into. It's only polite. So if you oh god, oh my god, what's going on there? If you've just joined, welcome to Zombie Horse Fridays, where we draw zombie horses. So it's not a zombie horse, it's a Kelpie, which is a... I mean, I'm guessing they must be fairly intelligent, because the idea is they trick unwitting humans into a watery grave. I mean, I think you're getting the impression that you wouldn't want to walk up to this and pet it on the nose. I mean, it doesn't have a nose, so you couldn't. You couldn't. No, actually, there's a really nice walk near Reading where you can, you know, you can walk past a paddock, and then there's a horse there. I guess you can like feed it carrots or something. But I imagine that's really annoying for the owners. It's like, we feed it, leave it alone. And the horse just doesn't care. It's just like, oh, free food. Okay. So we are going to look at those ears. Those devilish ears. Right, it's the it's manipulation of silhouette and metaphor. I mean, you may think I'm being silly there, but actually those are two things we want to leverage whenever we design, right? It's a bit like if you put silly bunny ears on your character, no one's ever going to take it seriously because it's got silly bunny ears. You know, it could be like this really big, intimidating mech, and if it's got silly bunny ears, well, people are just going to view it as a silly bunny. So, you know. God, why do the ears look so pants? Answers in the comments. I even did like an ear drawing tutorial at the start, but apparently didn't follow my own advice. Well, that was valuable, wasn't it? Bet you all appreciated that. Okay. I feel like if Brad doesn't, I mean, I'm fairly sure I called it seaweed multiple times while he was here. But I feel like if he doesn't know it's seaweed, I could do what really annoys me and just write seaweed with an arrow next to it. I do feel like that's such a cop out though. But it's what people do in industry. I mean, in fairness. But yeah, it's such a cop out doing that. Such a cop out. It feels a bit like, you know, it doesn't look like a horse, so you have to label it so that people know. And that's not the point of drawing, right? The point of drawing is that people look at it and go like, horse! Demon horse, even. If any of you don't know, I designed the demon bear for Annihilation. So I guess I sort of have. There's a sort of precedent here. So I am liking this music. I'm liking this music more than the other stream. Okay. I feel like that eye looks kind of fuzzy. Let's take a look at the eye. I kind of like how the lighting looks around here, but you can see it's definitely looking quite underdeveloped compared to the rest of the eye. So let's just see what we can do there. Look how much form there is in that shape above the eye. It's really nice. You can like just grab a hold of it. Of course, our horsey here would not appreciate that, and he would bite you or turn around and kick you. I feel like I should be putting some shadows underneath the seaweed here, but I'd run out of value, so it's barely visible because I've just gone to black too quickly. Oh dear. Okay. Ah, right. I wasn't going quite to full black. Okay, so let's go to full black. And it's a bit like, well, it's a bit like putting eyeliner on, right? We basically do the same thing. It's digital eyeliner. And we just go in there and bring out the darks on these, you know, on these sort of eye bags here. Yeah, because the eye is a collection of, you know, very, you know, small sharp shapes that become very eye-catching if you push that contrast, right? Basically, always push the contrast in the eyes. Actually, I know some artists who don't. They make a very deliberate choice not to, and actually, it's really, really pretty. It's really, really sort of subtle, but got a very pronounced eyelid underneath that. I never noticed that. I guess this is the thing about having to do something that you wouldn't do normally, is that you gain a deeper understanding of it, and you push your knowledge of it to a point that it wasn't before. So now we are all very well versed on horses' eyes, right? We you know, we're all experts on that. Yeah. There's a bit of light catching here, which I still want to put in. You know, you don't want to miss out on little opportunities like that to bring in little bits of contrast, and you know, where you can put like a light plane next to something that's quite dark and show a plane change. It's normally something that you actually want to play up and emphasize. And then I think in here would actually be a little bit darker. So yeah, okay. I just want to. To be fair, this is a bit of a lazy highlight. Let's go and make it a little bit better. And then I think I want a little bit of light, sort of catching the inside of a tear duct there, which is going to be a little bit wet. You know, it's a tear obviously. Because it's a zombie, if you want to make it gross, you can also like try just, you know, adding highlights in sort of weird places, which sort of starts to make it look like an open wound that's seeping. Right. Really lovely stuff here. Like I said, I hope all of you had your dinner by now. But yeah. If not, whoops. No. See, this actually looks like it's a patch that's been pasted on top there. It's just a recap, right? That's where we started off from. A lovely, fresh-faced, healthy horse. Oh, no. There we go. And now he's looking a little bit worse for wear. Yuck. Cool. Okay. So I'll take a couple of minutes and then I'll be back and finish this off. We'll see what we get to. plan of action. Got plan of action now. So, yeah, that glow underneath. Side I quite like it. So, so I'm wondering if it should come from the top, but I think let's do it from the bottom. Go. Because who doesn't like a good rim light? I think I'm going to want whatever's here to be getting a good whack of that. Oh, okay. Well, I feel like this is naturally come to its conclusion. Well, no. I could tidy that up. I might tidy up a bit more before I hand it off to Pat, but no, I do like that. I think that's good. I think that helps. Yeah. I'll see what happens before I hand it off to Pat, but yeah, there we go. There we go. Might do a little bit more to it. Oh god, maybe we should tidy it up a bit as well. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Okay, cool. Well, there we have it. So, yeah. What I might do is I might just keep going with this fella. So as I said, I've got 2 days to finish him, which I did not know. Did not know I had so little time to finish him. So I'm going to get going with this guy. I've got a few hours of work to do on him tonight. So classic 3D overpaint territory. Dun, 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 dun. This brush isn't quite doing it for me. It's kind of the problem. If your brushes are overly textured, it gets sort of difficult to actually just sort of fix what you want. Which is why I don't know. Sometimes I just seem to lock into it, and other times can't seem to get to work. But you know, sometimes it's better to use a sort of more predictable brush to correct everything, and then just go in with a more textured brush to sort out everything else. Quite like this brush here because when you've got sort of big rounded form like this, just the brush, so this brush has got a little bit of like, just see it's got sort of direction to it. When you've got a slightly big open area like this, it's very good for, it's very good for kind of just rounding the form off and giving it sort of that direction as well as the form. trying to think. I can probably amplify the kind of lighting idea here, which is, you know, you've got this bright light come from below. So I think that's probably something that I want to center in on, especially on his body here. So I'm going to break the lighting a little bit. And I think start emphasizing the downward pointing planes here. Just to give it a little bit more punch. Because of my modeling here, I'm losing a little bit in the, just losing a little bit there. This is where I sort of want to brighten it up in this area here. I think those highlights as well would be good to emphasize as well. Brighter underneath there. It's hard when you do these paintings sometimes not to be like slave to the 3D, you know. So, you know, again, using your judgment to know when to move away from it and when to lean into it. I need to figure out how I'm going to treat these hard surface parts here. So I'm just going to put off for now. I think I quite like that, what's happened there. I think that's good. And yeah, that bit of brightness I think on the down planes is kind of looking nice, I think. Let's happen give it just a little bit more form. So again, I think I could have been bolder with my shapes there, but this is a nice thing, right? With 3D you can get a second chance to, you know, define some of these forms here. I think we need a slightly brighter value as well there, just to really round that form off. And that's, yeah, let's start adding a bit of painterly detail to the right places. So yeah, I think I'm just strategically brightening things up to, again, just emphasize the form a little bit more. I think if the form's a little bit too subtle, lose a little bit of impact. So I'm quite liking this brush here actually. It's working quite well for these like sort of big rounded like knuckles and stuff. You see, if I go around the form, helps add a little bit of volume. I'm not sure it's going to be so good for stuff like this. You know, these like dark lines here. I think I might have to find something else there. But if I go that way, you can see I can start to fatten up. You know, fatten up those lines there. Yes, not, yeah. That's sort of working there. Okay. Yeah, one thing that happens with this workflow is I sort of forget what I've painted over. And so I can end up with sort of big gaping holes in my painting. Otherwise, I suppose, if it was that egregious, you know, I'd notice and fix it, right? Or you'd hope. But sometimes you do get too tired to notice things and all goes horribly wrong. So if we make a highlight, we cut it just there, you can kind of hint that there's like a little sort of overlap there. Now, it's especially with like modern painters, you know, they tend to be quite aggressive in their form with things like that. Tend to be quite aggressive with their modelling. Okay. Oh god, I've got a very boring form back here. So I'm just going to just try and make it seem more rounded, I reckon. I don't think it needs too much I don't think it needs too much work. Just going to go round the form, hence adding form, right? You can see the difference there. And on we go. So actually, I think if I do this all night, we'll get pretty far. I think maybe there's a chance I'll finish by the end of tomorrow. It's not really meant to take me that long. CEO is where it looks kind of plasticky. You know, we want to just get rid of that feeling. In general, right? In general, we want to get rid of plastic. These sort of shapes you get in the shadow, you can kind of destroy them. Make that edge. Really lose that edge. Probably not quite the right brush for the job, to be honest. Oh, alrighty then. Cool. Well, if you keep track of us on socials, I'll let you know how it turns out. I'll let you know how it turns out. Well, I've just seen something. If you've got light coming from the back, I do quite like putting, you know, a bright spot in the same sort of corner. So I'll just quickly put that in before we move on. Yeah, be something like that. Maybe hint at a sort of moodier kind of sky. Yeah. So some darker values in there. Maybe I'll paint some pillars of smoke in the background or something like that. It's kind of on theme, I think. Let's have some sort of dark shapes there. Okay, well, I'm kind of running on fumes here, so I think I will leave it there tonight. But thank you all so much for joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow Firestorm Studios. Lots and lots of fantastic streamers throughout the week. If you don't particularly follow 2D, you know, there's Houdini, character modeling, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, keep an eye out for the schedule. But yeah, yeah, thanks so much for joining, and I'll catch you all here next week, same time. Thanks very much.